We want users in our app to be able to add new channels by clicking on this add icon. And when they click on this icon, we'll show them a modal which will allow them to provide a name for their channel as well as some details about it. To create a modal component, we'll import it from Semantic UI. This will be our add channel modal. And on the opening tag of our modal, we'll add some props. We'll give it some basic styling with the basic prop. We use the open prop in order to toggle the visibility of our modal. We'll do that using a property in state called modal. It will initially be set to false, and we can destructure it from our state object in our render function. So we'll pass that to open. If we set that to true, we'll be able to see our modal. And we'll have an onClose prop, which will be set to a function called closeModal, where all it will be responsible for doing is setting the modal property within state to false. So again, this will set the open prop to false and hide our modal. We'll add a header to our modal with modal.header. Give it the text of add a channel. Then we'll include some content. And in our modal we'll have both the form component and a couple of input components. So we'll add a form, and the form will have a couple of form fields. And these will include our input components. Give it the prop of fluid to take up the full width. I'll have a label attribute for the first one of name of channel, a name attribute of channel name, and an onChange set to this.handleChange. So we want to update the state object according to the name property of the input that a user is typing in. So we'll pass an event to handle change. We'll set the state, set the property according to event.target.name, and the value of that will be event.target.value. We'll add a state property of channel name and another one of channel details. So we'll have another input with the name of channel details right underneath our first input. So we'll copy the entire form field and paste it in underneath. Set name to channel details, and the label will be about the channel. Underneath the modal content, we'll have this modal actions area. These will include a couple of buttons where we can optionally add a channel or cancel adding a channel. So we'll bring in the button component from Semantic UI. The button will have a color prop of green. We'll have the inverted prop and include an icon with the name of checkmark and the text of add. We can copy this button and paste it in underneath with a color of red, the name of remove, and the text of cancel. And since we're returning two components, our menu component and our modal component, we need to put everything within a single component using react.fragment. This is a good way to group two components or multiple components to return just one component within a file. We can add an onClick on our add icon to open modal. So we'll also have a function called open modal, which will change the modal prop in state to true to show the modal. We can save our channels file, head back to our app. We'll try opening our modal by clicking on the add icon. So it opens our add channel modal. We'll head to our React Dev Tools and search for the channels component. We'll type into our name of channel and about the channel inputs, we can see corresponding properties and state are updated, but our cancel button isn't working. We're going to add an on-click to our cancel button. We'll set that to our close modal function, which will close the modal if we want to cancel adding a channel. So if we refresh our app, we can open the modal and close the modal.